I don't know about you, but vocal exercises always seem pretty random to me. Make this beep boop sound and you'll sing just like Jim Morrison. Yeah, right. Make this ma 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 gug gug sound and you'll sing just like Layne Staley. What are you talking about? Until you learn to pull the core value and core lesson from each of the exercises that you've been practicing, you're basically a rat on a wheel, working more and more and more and harder and never actually getting to your destination as a singer. If you can pull the core value from each of the exercises that I'm about to share with you in this video, you're going to realize that you're actually a better singer than you probably realize. And once you learn to take all the values from all the sounds from every exercise that you've been practicing and you put them in your real singing in real time, you're going to be able to sing better than you ever thought possible. I'm Keegan from Foundation Vocal Method and author of the best-selling voice coaching book, Reset Your Voice. Over the past 15 years, I've helped hundreds of singers, thousands if we're talking my online voice coaching programs, take their singing to the next level with the system that I'm about to share with you in this video. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video. I've got a super special free gift for you that's going to help you take your singing to the next level as well. Now, if you're somewhere that you can't practice, this isn't a, watch and forget type thing. I want you to sing along in real time and try out these sounds and try and find the value and the lessons from each of these exercises in real time with me. So if you're someone that you can't practice right now, that's okay. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and add this to your watch later list so that you can come back and you can practice along when you're somewhere that you can make some noise. One of the funniest sounds I was ever given was a hoot, like a ghost or an owl. Woo! One of the last vocal teachers I ever went to had me doing this sound 5, 10, 15 minutes at the start of every single exercise until he was happy that I was able to do it, right? And I never really got how that was going to make me sing an Alice in Chains song. I never got how that was going to get me, 1989 James Hetfield and Justice for All tour voice. And I never really understood how that was going to make me sing like Steven Tyler, right? Because woo, 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 this isn't how those guys are all singing. And I felt this huge disconnect in the exercise and the sound and the advice I was being given and how I really wanted to sing and what my favorite singers were doing. So I never really put any value or weight in this sound. But this has become one of my favorite vocal exercises. This is something that I do basically all day long, and I like it so much because I do this while I'm making coffee. I do it while I'm getting the kids ready for school. I do it while I'm feeding the cats and feeding the chickens. Basically doing anything during the day. Woo, woo. I'm playing around with this hoot sound. And that's because I've learned that this is actually showing you something. Doing this sound doesn't physically change your voice or manipulate your voice. It's showing you where you should be singing. This is all about resonant space. Now, space itself is a little bit of a misnomer. It gives you the impression that things need to be big, which is not true. High notes are small, high frequencies, bright sounds are actually all small. So it's about making you aware of where you have the potential for resonance. So when I'm speaking to you right now, I kind of feel like my voice is, in my mouth, my teeth, my chest, my throat, all around here, right? But when I close my eyes and I make that hoot sound, woo, 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 I feel like it's in the back of my head. I feel that resonance in the back of my head. I can feel myself doing something in the back there, right? Now, you don't need to do this for 1,000 hours. You don't need to do this a million times to build some magical muscle in there, right? Yes, there's muscles involved in singing, but that's not really going to take you to the next level. You have to have kinesthetic awareness of where your voice really rings, right? So if I'm actually singing something, right, and I'm just trying to take this voice and I'm like, only my soul stops me I can't sing. This is not a singing voice, right? But if I take that core value from the hoot sound, woo, in the back of the head, right? And I actually sing in that space, right? Only my soul stops me crying, wondering why I feel alone. And only my love keeps me from weeping so bad and giving me strength to carry on. Suddenly I've got a very different voice, and all I did was take that kinesthetic awareness of that resonant space in the back and I really directed my sound there. And that's allowed my voice to resonate in the right way. You could spend a decade doing that hoot sound like I did and get absolutely nowhere, like a rat on a wheel chasing after the cheese that never comes, right? Or you can do that exercise, feel out what's different in that exercise compared to what you're usually doing when you sing or when you're speaking, and you can put that into your real singing and you will sing better than you ever thought possible pretty much straight away, right? Woo! This is your first formant, this is the body of your sound, this is your pitch, you need to sing in the back. Number 2, SOVT, semi-occluded vocal tract. That's a very fancy term, isn't it, right? It basically just means there's something in the way of the air, right? If I can put that in a very Aussie way for you. You just get something and you put it in the way of the fucking air, and that's an SOVT sound, right? This is trills, puffy cheek sounds, it's singing through a straw. I don't have here, I can't demonstrate that one for you. Basically, the air backs up against the closure, right? And this actually creates a reflex. So you could spend a decade singing through a straw and you won't really come out of it as a better singer unless you can pull that core value from that exercise, which is basically back pressure on the diaphragm. Because the air can't blast out, the diaphragm can't come up. Say you sing an R sound, right? Right? Once I've got that something in the way of the air, my voice works in a different way. It's like there's a different muscle pitching the sound, which is absolutely correct. It's your cricothyroid. Now, when the diaphragm is down and out and it can't push up because there's something in the way, it's like kind of slightly having the lid on a bottle. This changes the relationship of your vocal folds and pressure. They live in a pressurized state, but they're not being pushed up by pressure. Plus, there's a nerve reflex from the diaphragm when it's down in that resisted position that engages the CT muscle. Right? So basically, if the diaphragm's up, you're under threat. Shit, there's a bear. That kind of thing, and you're going to push, right? When the diaphragm's out and down, same thing. If I'm trying to sing, what I was singing before, right? Lead, my diaphragm's coming up, right? If I get my SOVT sound happening, it's not really building anything. But then when I actually sing, if I sense that feeling of the diaphragm being unable to come up, right? Lead me on through restless waters. Walk with me along the way. Resisted diaphragm, right? Live the moment and tomorrow, for the Lord will take it on the judgment day. Right? So doing thousands of hours of lip trills will not help you sing unless you can pull that core value from the sound, which is basically back pressure on the diaphragm and allowing you to have a pressurized air without it pushing on the vocal folds, and also triggering that reflex, which leads into number 3. I just spoke about the cricothyroid. Cricothyroid. You've got more than one pitching mechanism in the voice, right? If you're pushing up and shouting and you can't sing high notes, it's highly likely you're trying to use subglottal pressure without realizing it and pressurizing up against the vocal folds like we just spoke about. It's why the trills work, it's why the puffy cheek exercise works, it's why the straw phonation works, but then when you sing real songs, you go right back to shouting. Now, if you add a sad cry sound, this is another one of those sounds that used to drive me nuts. Like a complainy cry sound. Maybe it's an Aussie thing, maybe it's a guy thing, I don't know, but complaining and whinging is just not my thing. It's just not my thing. So it wasn't a sound I resonated with. I didn't really hear it in Paul Rodgers. I didn't really hear it in, all my favorite singers. David Coverdale that I was just singing, right? 70s Coverdale's awesome. I don't hear a cry, whingy, whiny sound. So it wasn't an exercise that I could be like, okay, that's going to help me get to Layne Staley material, right? I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to make that sound, right? But it's not actually about that inflection. If you actually put your finger here, so between your collarbones, you've got a little dip here called the trachea notch. It's the same thing that's actually happening on the HOOT. You can try it on the HOOT or the cry sound. There's 2 ligaments in there and you'll feel them slightly come forward. Or do the cry sound if you can't really feel it. Hey. I've been calling this the stolen cake cry. There's a large gentleman with a cake, turns around to get some cutlery, the cake's gone when he gets back. Oh no! That cry sound. You don't actually need that inflection on there. You just need to sense the CT muscle. And then when you're actually singing something, right? Hey, you have more range than you realize. You have more potential range than you're currently accessing because you're most likely not using the CT muscle. And that's the core value of that cry sound. You need to get that CT muscle pitching the sound. Number 4, twang. Sing, NG sound. Again, another sound that I don't think was put to me in the right way. Okay, just sing NG through the nose. Sing, right? And you'll be able to sing like David Coverdale. Ew, I don't want to make a nasal sound. That's ugly. I don't really want to sing like Billy Corgan. I don't really want to sing like Axl Rose either, so I don't think I'm going to practice that sound. You know what? Twang's not for me. I'm not American either, so I don't really want to put on a twangy accent. has nothing to do with your nose, has nothing to do with nasal airflow through the velopharyngeal port, and it actually has nothing to do with accent. It's all about the epiglottis. When you make that NG sound, sing, superficially, the tongue is blocking off the mouth, so the port opens and you have airflow through the nose. That's not the lesson. You're not supposed to be singing through your nose on a vowel sound. When you sing a vowel sound in the right way, hey, the palate's up and you don't have that airflow through the nose. It really rings internally. Now, when I'm singing that NG sound there, the voice is a tool of reflex, and it responds tonally, right? So acoustics create reflex, reflex creates behavior, and behavior dictates the physical changes in your voice. How do you think placement works? Right? You're not physically moving your voice. You're asking for a sound, so your body tries to give it to you, and you create that frequency. And all of the involuntary aspects of the voice work together to make that happen. And twang is one of those things. So the epiglottis, the cartilage at the top here, you have your vocal tract and you've got your cartilage over the top. There's two things that happens here. So this creates back pressure. Right? So this is technically an SOVT sound, right? So we've got a partially closed vocal tract, creating that back pressure on the diaphragm, creating that pressurized state for the vocal folds without them actually being pushed, because really the epiglottis that's copying that pressure there and holding it in like the lid of the bottle partially being on. But more importantly, it's creating a resonator. The distance from the vocal folds to the epiglottis is about 1,000 revolutions of the sound wave. It's a bit of an oversimplification of what's actually going on, but that's the way that I like to look at it. So you have an independent sound, an independent frequency, which is powerful. It's incredibly strong. It's incredibly loud. Right? So this twangy sound is your approximation of volume. If you ever had a question about how loud should I be singing? Am I singing too loud? It probably means you're not using enough twang or you're not engaging the epiglottis when you sing. So twang creates volume and back pressure, and it has nothing to do with the nose. Even though those exercises make it really easy to find that sound and get that reflex, it's all about the epiglottis and that cartilage within the throat. And then finally, vowel modification. This is another one of those techniques that just wasn't put to me in the right way. Right? We're not really singing Land of the FRAY. We're singing Land of the Free, but we're modifying the body and the structure and the pitch of that sound. Right? When I hear John Fogerty singing, put a candle in the window, 'cause I feel I've got to move, yeah. Though I'm gone, I'm hearing all the words. And I'm hearing almost a speech-like quality in there. So you know what? He's not modifying his vowels. I've had those comments before when I've shared tutorials on vowel modification. Oh, I like Dio, and Dio doesn't modify his vowels because I hear his words. But that's the whole premise of vowel modification. It's to allow you to sing your words freely without constriction. Now, I like to think of vowel modification as singing with the right acoustics. Do you want to sing with the right acoustics, or do you want to sing with the wrong acoustics? Had someone put that to me in that way 20 years ago, I would have taken the ball and run with it. But when I was taught, okay, we need to sing a different vowel here, I was like, but the John Fogerty's singing an E there. You know, Chris Cornell's singing, all the words there. I don't think this is for me, right? Now, your vowel is a frequency, right? If I sing hey, hey, why does that sound like hey? Why doesn't that sound like you? Why doesn't that sound like the HOOT sound? Woo! That's because I've got the spaces in the vocal tract set up to accentuate certain frequencies, which gives you an approximation of that sound, gives you the representation of that sound that you're hearing. So all vowels are different frequencies in a certain way. They're all derived from the same thing though. They're all derived from the fundamental vibration of the vocal folds, the pitch. So basically your pitch and your vowel are related, if not the same thing, right? So if you're struggling to sing high notes, it's most likely not a physical thing. If you've got everything else dialed in and you're doing your exercises and you're supporting correctly, it's highly likely you have an acoustic issue. You have a vowel issue, right? So my favorite way of showing this, right? Had it been put to me in this way so many years ago, man, you'd be looking at a very different singer. So if I take the word hey, right? Hey, hey, right? I'm trying to keep some sort of disparity between the pitch I'm singing and the vowel that I'm singing to keep it in chest voice, right? That's what that sound, that's the reflex that sound creates. It's very uncomfortable. It's never going to connect, and it's always going to be shouted. That sound is always going to be shouted at that range. Does that mean that I can't sing the word hey, right? At a D4, a C4, D4, G4. I just can't do it. Too high for my voice, right? So what you need to do is you need to pull from an adjacent vowel, which gives you the same representation of the sound at a higher frequency or a more appropriate frequency. It's not always higher. Hey, right? Hey, right? You have more range than you realize, right? Hey. Now you might be thinking, no, I don't really want to sing high stuff, so I don't think vowel modification's for me. And that was definitely me at a certain point too, where I was thinking, well, look, I don't have a high voice, I don't have the high range, I don't really need to bother with that. That's for people with high voices, right? But that's exactly what I'm doing in the David Coverdale song I was singing before, right? Broken dreams lay all around me, sad-eyed children of despair, whispered voices in the distance, call me on to who knows where. I'm singing the right acoustics. Do you want to sing the right acoustics, or do you want to sing the wrong acoustics? It's not really about range. It's not really about singing high notes. It's all about dialing in the most appropriate sound for the word you're singing and for the register and range that you're singing in. So vowel modification is not singing a different word or singing a different sound. It's really receiving your acoustics in the right way. Had it been put to me like that from day one, you'd definitely be looking at a different singer. Let me recap for you. We've got our HOOT sound. One of my favorite things about pretty much most of these sounds is that you don't need anything to do them. You don't need a guitar, you don't need a piano, you don't need a practice space, you don't even have to do them very loud. So number one, the HOOT sound. This is your resonant space. This is really showing you, giving you that kinesthetic awareness of where the body of your sound, where the pitch of the sound rings, and that's in the back. Then when you sing real songs, right? Only my soul stops me crying, wondering why I feel alone, and only my love keeps me from weeping so bad. I'm just singing in the back here, right? Giving me strength to carry on, right? This is my kinesthetic awareness, and I just need to follow the body instead of fighting it. Number two, SOVT sounds. We need to create that back pressure on the diaphragm so that we can trigger the CT muscle and so that the vocal folds, so that we can have more pressure in the sound and more power in the sound without the vocal folds really copying the brunt of that, right? So we're putting something in the way of the air. Number three, cry. Oh no! The stolen cake cry, right? You got a large gentleman, it's got a cake right in front of him, turns around to get some cutlery, and the cake's gone. Oh no! Again, you don't have to make that inflection on it. Right? You just need to add that cry sensation into your singing, and you will have more range than you ever thought possible. We've got twang, has nothing to do with the nose, it's everything to do with the epiglottis, the resonator that this creates, and also more of that back pressure on the diaphragm. And then finally, vowel modification. Do you want to sing the right acoustics, or do you want to sing the wrong acoustics? That's what vowel modification comes down to. It's not about pronouncing different sounds. It's not about singing different words. It's not about, you can't sing that word at that range. You just structurally have to receive the pitch and receive the frequencies and receive the harmonics in a way that's balanced. At the start of this video, I told you I had a very special free gift for you. Now, kinesthetic awareness of your voice and looking at the voice in the wrong way and really your perception of your voice and what's really going on. This is just one of 12 vocal progress killers, which is holding you back from your full potential as a singer. So what I've done to make this easier for you is to create a downloadable cheat sheet. You can click the link and download that cheat sheet and go through every single one of these things in this list, and it will show you. You're gonna have a bunch of light bulbs on the top of your head, and you're like, all right, I haven't been doing that, oh, I've been doing that one, oh no, I've been doing that too. Every single one of these 12 vocal progress killers is a mistake I made along the way to becoming the singer that I am. Today, ironing them out, fixing them up, this has been the solution. Now, there's an exclusive training video that comes with each of the 12 vocal progress killers when you sign up for the free cheat sheet. Hit the link right here, download your free 12 vocal progress killers cheat sheet and get those exclusive videos along with that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you see more vocal training videos like this. I'm Keegan from Foundation Vocal Method, and we are definitely gonna talk soon.